Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy. Welcome to The Last Lap. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down a lot of penalties and appeals and all kinds of other stuff. And we're also going to be talking about everything going down in COTA this upcoming weekend. But before we hop into the video, just want to remind you guys, hit that like button and subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it if you did that. And you can also check out our social media pages, which are linked in the description, as always. Let's go ahead and hop into the video. Matthew, my friend and co-host, is joining me. And if you guys can't tell by what is behind me, all these balloons, today is my birthday, my 23rd birthday. So thank you in advance to everybody for all of the birthday wishes, family, friends, all that stuff. But 23, I think they call it your golden year when you're supposed to, when like your day of the month is the day how old you're turning. So it's March 23rd and I'm turning 23, so I guess it's my golden year or whatever. And you know, whether Michael Jordan's the GOAT, whether LeBron's the GOAT, it doesn't matter. They both wear number 23, so it's going to be a GOAT year for me. But anyways, enough with the corny jokes. Matthew, how you doing as we talk about everything COTA this weekend?
Oh, look at you right there. You're getting old just as what you're getting old as well. But hope you're having a great birthday today. And yeah, this is gonna be an amazing weekend coming up. Um I think this is a crown jewel race in the making here with Circuit Americas, as we have a lot of big names in this weekend from all over the world. And I think we're gonna see a fantastic show this weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of big names racing in all three series this weekend, so make sure you stick around because we're going to go over all those big names. But first, we got to talk about penalties, appeals, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, as you guys may or may not know, Hendrick Motorsports, they got all four cars, got both of their hood louvers confiscated at Phoenix a few weeks ago. They're going to appeal that, and that will be heard the next upcoming Wednesday, so they'll still have to go without their crew chiefs for this weekend at COTA, but that appeal will be next Wednesday. And my quick thoughts about that, I guess I'll throw the colleague one in there too because it's the same penalty, but it was only for one hood louver. So Hendrick Motorsports claims that the single source supply parts that were given to them did not fit the car, so they had to modify them themselves in order to make them fit. So that's their main argument. Colleague Racing, on the other hand, the 31 car, it only had one out of the two louvers taken away. So I don't know when their appeal is going to be heard yet. I think I know just Hendrick is Wednesday. I don't know when Colleagues is yet, but in my opinion, I think Colleague Racing has a much higher chance of winning their appeal compared to Hendrick Motorsports, just because the whole Colleague Racing deal, it was just one out of the two louvers compared to Hendrick Motorsports. Literally every single car had both louvers confiscated, so I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see how that appeal process goes and what the result is. We'll definitely update you guys on that next week. And Denny Hamlin, he also announced that he is going to appeal his fine and point deduction as well for the whole Ross Chastain incident. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the same thing that happened with William Byron happens with Denny Hamlin here, because William Byron, he had a points deduction, but they took that away and just upped his fine. So I don't see why the same wouldn't happen here for Denny Hamlin, because NASCAR didn't have a problem with what happened until Denny literally said it on his podcast. And, you know, if you're going to fine drivers for stuff that they say, I don't like that. You know, like, I love that Denny Hamlin has his own podcast. He's free to say basically whatever he wants without any consequences, I guess, except for this. But I just don't like NASCAR penalizing him for this. Like, just let the drivers handle it on the track. In some instances, yes, step in, but I mean, I don't really see much Denny Hamlin did wrong. He didn't really wreck Ross Chastain. He's kind of put him in the wall. That's about it. But yeah, I don't really like that penalty at all by NASCAR, just because Denny Hamlin said something and admitted to it. They just decided to come out and fine him and give him points for it. So I honestly hope that whole thing gets overturned, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they just give him a fine and give him the points back. And Mr. Josh Williams, the man of the week, headlining probably across all types of major sports social media pages and stuff. He is suspended one race for parking his car at Atlanta. Alex LeBay, he's going to fill in at COTA for Josh Williams. And as much as it pains for me to say this, I think this is the right decision for NASCAR because you cannot just have a guy park his car on the racetrack and leave his car and walk away and just leave it there. Like, that's just unacceptable. I know Josh Williams was upset. He probably shouldn't have gotten called to park his car for the race, but like you can't handle it like that and expect to get off the hook. So, from NASCAR side of things, I think that is the right call to suspend him a race. I've been joking around that he probably didn't get fined because Denny Hamlin offered to pay his fine. So that's probably why NASCAR was like, oh, well, we're going to suspend you because we want you to have some type of consequence. We don't want somebody having to pay your fine for you. So, but no, realistically, I think that's the right call, NASCAR penalizing him. I do think he got the short end of the stick, though, because I think it was the first time he pitted for damage. They put some bear bond on it, and it was hard. It wouldn't stick onto the car, and he drove off pit road, and it fell off. And it fell off before the green flag flew, so NASCAR could have easily just extended the caution one more lap before they went green and went out there and picked it up. But they didn't see it. The race went green, and like half a lap later, the caution came out, and then they tell him to park his car. So I think he got the short end of the stick there. NASCAR was just fed up. The whole Xfinity race was a disaster. They were probably angry and frustrated, and once they just saw the debris come off the car, they're like, okay, you're done. We're tired of dealing with this. So I do think Josh Williams got a bit robbed there. I think they should have just black flagged him and told him to come and fix the car instead of telling him to park it. But anyways, Josh Williams suspended one race. I do think that is the correct call. But that's most of the news that has come out this week. Matthew, what do you have to say about all these different appeals and suspensions and all that kind of stuff before we hop into COTA?
And as for the first two penalties, I'm not going to dive really too deep into that because that's been out for a while now, and I'm sure everyone has said their opinion about it by now. So I won't dive deep into it. Other than, I mean, it was suspicious that those specific two Hendrick cars were way faster than the competition. So might be a sign right there. You know, those darn cheating Hendrick cars. But and as for the whole Hamlin situation with his fine, I mean, I'm not here to argue if it, if if like if it'd be right for someone to lie about they wrecked someone or they should just. I mean, I'm not gonna argue about that. It's just if I were Hamlin's position, I would have just kept his mouth shut about it. I mean, he was doing just fine. He was basically get away with this scot free. I mean, the tele from the what I saw on TV, it looked like it didn't look like he did that on purpose. It looked like he just slid up the track and got him in the wall. So he could have gotten away with it, but he chose to open his mouth, and that's what happens. When you open a podcast and this certain guy, he's not gonna hold back. So I mean, I totally saw that one coming from a mile away. So should have just kept his mouth shut, and he wouldn't have to deal with all that. But oh well. And another one that I'm not totally surprised with is the whole Josh Williams thing. As funny and as fun that was to watch on TV, it was basically an Antonio Brown like meltdown. I mean, even Antonio Brown actually retweeted the whole Josh Williams thing, which was entertaining to see. As fun as that was, I totally saw this one coming. I knew that NASCAR was not gonna take this too lightly on him. I knew a suspension was definitely gonna be possible. Then was I 100% certain? No. It could have also been a fine or points penalty, but it ended up being suspension. I mean, I feel like the main reason why he got suspended was pretty much. I think it was pretty much because he walked on to an active racetrack without safety personnel. He just basically was walking on an active racetrack by himself, which is absolutely a big no-no there, and NASCAR extremely hates that. We've seen pit crew members get their hard card revoked for walking onto an active racetrack trying to catch a tire, from rolling on the racetrack. We've seen that happen before. And it's also, for a safety reason, because, I mean, we've seen what happened last year with Willie Byron purposely spun Denny Hamlin under caution. And what if something like that happened? I mean, that would have been absolutely been awful. So NASCAR does not take things lightly. To take that lightly at all. If someone's walking on an active racetrack and it's not because they just got in a wreck and safety personnel is with them. So I think that's the main reason why he got suspended, and also because they specifically told him to bring it to the garage, not park it on the front stretch. So it's as fun as that was. Uh, Unfortunately, there was going to be big consequences with it, and yeah, I'm totally not surprised about this penalty at all.
All right, so now we're getting into COTA. We have some big names for all three series this weekend. But first, I'm going to go over the schedule as per Twitter and Bob Pockris, thankfully. So Friday we have Cup practice, Truck practice and qualifying, and Xfinity practice and qualifying. The times are kind of weird. The practice and qualifying for Cup and Truck are both going to be like earlier in the day, but they're not going to be put on televised until later at night. So that's just kind of weird. And then Saturday we have Cup qualifying, the Truck race, and the Xfinity race doubleheader on Saturday, and then Sunday is the Cup race. The race starts at 3:30 on Sunday. So let's go over some big names in all of these series. So for the Truck series, we got Alex Bowman. He's going to be back in the number 7 once again. Ross Chastain, he is going to be in the number 41 truck. Kyle Busch in the number 51, and Parker Kligerman will be in the number 75. For the truck race, it's really hard not to pick against Kyle Busch. I think he's going to be the easy favorite, so I'm going to have to pick Kyle Busch for the truck race. In Xfinity, we got some big names as well. We actually have Carson Hocevar driving the number 07 car. William Byron is back in the number 17 Hendrick Motorsports entry. AJ Allmendinger is in the number 10. Eric Almirola, he's actually racing in the number 08 car. And Ty Gibbs, he's racing in the Joe Gibbs Racing number 19. Yes, the number 19 car Ty Gibbs is racing. In case you guys don't remember what happened the last time Ty Gibbs and the 19 car, had some type of interaction, you just think back to Martinsville. Matthew and I were there at that race, so that's just kind of funny how Ty Gibbs is driving the number 19 car. But anyways, the Xfinity race, I feel like it's going to be a very competitive race. It's going to be very hard to have a favorite. I think Allmendinger just has to be the favorite because he is arguably the best road course racer in NASCAR. But you do have William Byron in the number 17, and you do have Ty Gibbs as well in the number 19 car. So I think between those three, I think one of those is going to win. If I were to pick one, it'd probably be Allmendinger, but Byron and Ty Gibbs are going to be hard to beat as well. And in the Cup Series, we have Kimi Räikkönen returning once again, driving the number 91 car for Trackhouse. We have Jordan Taylor stepping in to fill in for Chase Elliott in the number 9 car. That's going to be very exciting to see Jordan Taylor behind a NASCAR Cup Series race car. Connor Daly, he is back as well in the number 50. Jenson Button, he is also racing in the number 15 Rick Ware Racing / Stuart Haas number 15 car. And Jimmy Johnson is racing as well in the number 84. So, man, these Cup drivers, there's a lot of heavy hitters in these Cup cars this weekend. I mean, Kimi coming back, Jordan Taylor, I believe that's his first Cup start. Jenson Button, I believe it's his first Cup start as well. A lot of F1 drivers. I'm very excited to see how well they do, to be honest with you. Friday, I wish practice was live on Friday. Unfortunately, it isn't. Hopefully, I'm home to be able to watch the rerun of practice. But, man, it's going to be so fun to watch all these guys mix it up on Sunday together. Out of these guys right here, who do I think has the best chance? Man, I don't know. Kimi did really good in his first Cup start at Watkins Glen. Man, I don't know. Uh, I'm just gonna have to be semi-biased here and say Jordan Taylor just because he's driving the number 9 car. But I mean, I'm gonna be rooting for all these guys. It's really cool to see these big name drivers try NASCAR on a road course at COTA as well, one of the most well-known tracks in the world. So it's gonna be very exciting to see all those guys. As for like an actual pick for the race, man, it's gonna be hard to beat Allmendinger again. I'm interested to see how well Tyler Reddick does in the Toyotas because they struggled a lot at the road courses last year. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to bring anything from Chevy over to Toyota to try and improve their road course program this year. But man, it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm so excited to watch these races at COTA. Matthew, what do you got to say about all these big names that we're going to see this weekend, and who are some of the drivers you're going to be watching?
Let's see. There's a lot of big names here. Two F1 champions, IMSA champion, Rolex 24 champions, a 7-time Cup Series champion, and an IndyCar driver. I mean, and plus he still got so many great NASCAR Cup Series drivers who have won road course races as well, with A.J. Allmendinger, Tyler Reddick recently, Kyle Larson recently. Um, it's gonna be a stacked field, and I think we're up for a great show. As for those big names, I gotta go with Kimi Räikkönen as the best finishing one of the open cars, or the big as the for the big names. Um, I mean, he's got that one Cup star with Watkins Glen. I think that would benefit him as he's gotten experience with these next gen cars now on the road course. And plus, he's at a track now that he's won before, even though it was a totally different race car. But he is way more familiar with Circuit Americas than he was with Watkins Glen. So that also plays in his advantage. I think Jordan Taylor will also be up there as well, just mainly because he's got the best resources of any of these guys with Hendrick Motorsports. I think with being teammates with Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson will be a huge benefit for Jordan Taylor. But I'm gonna rule out Jenson Button now either, even though it is with Rick Racing. It's basically a Fish Stewart Haas racing car in this race by itself. And he is one of the drivers that will be participating in the Garage 56 entry, so he has time with these next gen cars, even though that one's a whole different beast to handle. This is going to be a little more chill compared to that, but I think Jensen Button will be a surprise to me. So, yeah, that's going to be my three of the big names I'll be looking for this weekend. I'll keep my eye on Kyle Busch as well because I mean I believe he is an underrated road course racer in my opinion. But that A car, specifically that A car, even has been so good on these road courses, especially last year. But that was with Tyler Reddick, so we'll see if that was just Tyler Reddick being good at road courses, or that A car was actually had a really strong road course program. So that's who I'm keeping my eye on.
Yeah, I honestly think it might be an 8 car thing because we saw what happened at Auto Club early in the year. The 8 car was fast there last year, and he went on to win the race. So I'm gonna have to say you're gonna have to watch out for Kyle Busch as well. But man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm super excited for all these races. But Matthew, do you have any other closing thoughts? We're gonna go ahead and finish this video out.
Man, I cannot wait to see more of the Project 91 entry this year. I mean, Justin Marks has already said he's going to be running that car more times this year, and I'd be looking forward to see if Kimmy does more starts this year, or will we see another, big superstar internationally, regardless if it's Formula One or IMSA or IndyCar. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing someone like Romain Grosjean in that car, or I mean, hey, I'm just throwing this name out. Maybe Juan Pablo Montoya comes back for a start. Or how about Marcos Ambrose? How about him? Let's bring him back for Watkins Glen again. So, I mean, I cannot wait for this Project 91 entry for the rest of this year.
I'm pretty sure Justin Marks said that the 91 car is Kimmy's unless he doesn't want to run in it. So if the Project 91 car is ran, I would not be surprised if Kimmy runs most, if not all, of the rest of the races. But at the same time, I would be excited to see some other guys take a chance and figure the next gen car out as well and try out NASCAR. So it's going to be a very exciting week in COTA. We are both very excited for it. Make sure you guys stay tuned to our social media channels. I'll be posting on Twitter pretty much all throughout the race weekend, probably. But make sure you guys stay tuned to our social media channels for updates. But until next time, we see you guys in the next video.